Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that's as captivating as it is heartbreaking, a saga of triumph, turmoil, and a nation's dreams seemingly unraveling right before our eyes. We're talking about Nigeria, a country brimming with talent and passion, and how it navigated a period so tumultuous it felt like a curse. A time when Voodoo, boycotts, and World Cup exile weren't just dramatic headlines but a very real part of their national narrative. This isn't just about football, folks. It's about politics, culture, human spirit, and the incredible resilience required to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Grab a snack, settle in, because this is going to be a long, detailed journey through one of the most fascinating and complex chapters in sports history. A story that still echoes in the halls of Nigerian football today. I promise you, by the end of this, you'll have a profound understanding of what truly happened during those turbulent years, and why Nigeria's journey is so much more than just a game. We're going to peel back the layers, examine the political machinations, the cultural beliefs, and the sheer human drama that played out on a global stage. The golden age and soaring hopes. A nation on the brink of greatness. Let's rewind a bit. Back to the early 1990s. A time when Nigerian football was on an absolute high, truly shining brighter than ever before. The Super Eagles were not just a team. They were a symbol of national pride. A vibrant, attacking force that captured the hearts of millions both at home and across the globe. They had a squad brimming with world-class talent. Players like JJ Okocha, Nwankwo Kanu, Daniel Amokachi, Sunday Olise, and Finidi George, all of whom were making waves in top European leagues. This was a generation that promised to redefine African football and truly challenge the world's elite. I remember watching them play, and there was just this undeniable swagger, an infectious joy in their game that made you believe anything was possible. They weren't just winning matches. They were doing it with flair, with a unique Nigerian style that was both effective and incredibly entertaining. Their victory at the 1994 African Cup of Nations was a testament to their dominance, a clear signal that they were ready to conquer the world. They followed that up with an incredible run at the 1994 FIFA World Cup in the USA, where they topped their group ahead of Argentina and Greece, playing some of the most exciting football of the tournament. They were literally minutes away from reaching the quarterfinals, only to be cruelly knocked out by a Roberto Baggio-inspired Italy in extra time. A moment that still stings for many fans. But even in defeat, their performance left an indelible mark, proving that an African team could truly compete at the highest level. The world took notice, and the future looked incredibly bright, filled with the promise of more trophies and even deeper runs in major international competitions. This was a team that had the potential to truly lift a World Cup trophy, a dream that felt tantalizingly close. The shadow of politics, Abacha's reign and mounting tensions. However, beneath this glittering facade of sporting success, a dark shadow was beginning to loom large over Nigeria, one that would ultimately engulf the nation and its beloved football team. General Sani Abacha had seized power in a military coup in 1993, ushering in one of the most repressive and brutal regimes in Nigeria's history. His rule was characterized by widespread human rights abuses, political repression, and a complete disregard for democratic principles. Dissent was ruthlessly suppressed. Critics were jailed, and the international community watched with growing alarm as Nigeria descended into authoritarianism. This political instability began to seep into every aspect of Nigerian life, including sports, creating an increasingly tense and unpredictable environment. The euphoria of football success provided a temporary distraction for the populace, a brief escape from the harsh realities of daily life under military rule. But it couldn't fully insulate the team or the nation from the escalating political crisis. The world was starting to turn its back on Nigeria, and the pressure was mounting from all corners. The international community began to impose sanctions and diplomatic isolation, condemning Abacha's regime for its egregious human rights record. This created a profound sense of unease and uncertainty, even for the footballers who were living and playing abroad. They were representing a nation that was increasingly viewed as a pariah state, and the weight of that responsibility, combined with the personal concerns for their families back home, was immense. The beautiful game was becoming entangled in a very ugly political struggle. The Commonwealth crisis and sporting sanctions. A turning point. The situation reached a critical boiling point in November 1995 with the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 other Ogoni activists. Saro-Wiwa, a renowned environmental activist and writer, had been a vocal critic of the Nigerian government and the environmental damage caused by oil companies in the Niger Delta. Their trial was widely condemned as a sham, and their subsequent execution sparked global outrage, leading to immediate and severe international repercussions. This act of state brutality was the final straw for many nations. The Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, or CHOGM, was taking place in New Zealand at the time, and the executions prompted an unprecedented response. Nigeria was immediately suspended from the Commonwealth, a significant blow to its international standing and diplomatic relations. This suspension wasn't just symbolic. It came with a raft of sanctions, including restrictions on travel, arms sales, and financial aid, all designed to pressure Abacha's regime into reforms. The world was sending a clear message. This kind of repression would not be tolerated. Crucially, these political sanctions quickly spilled over into the realm of sports, which often serves as a powerful diplomatic tool. Sporting boycotts and bans became a tangible way for the international community to express its condemnation and further isolate the regime. This was a direct hit at the heart of Nigerian national pride, as football was perhaps the most unifying and celebrated aspect of the country. The idea that their beloved Super Eagles could be affected by these political maneuvers was a bitter pill for many Nigerians to swallow. The 1996 AFCON ban. The first exile. The immediate and most devastating consequence of these sanctions for Nigerian football came in the lead-up to the 1996 African Cup of Nations, which was scheduled to be held in South Africa. South Africa, having recently emerged from apartheid and under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, was a strong voice against Abacha's regime and had been at the forefront of the international condemnation. The political tensions between the two nations were incredibly high, almost palpable. Nigeria, as the defending champions and one of the favorites, was expected to participate and defend its title. However, just days before the tournament was due to begin, the Nigerian government announced its shocking decision to withdraw the Super Eagles from the competition. The official reason cited was security concerns for the players and officials in South Africa, a claim that was met with widespread skepticism and seen as a thinly veiled political maneuver. Many believed it was a direct response to South Africa's vocal criticism and the ongoing diplomatic spat. This withdrawal was a seismic event, effectively an act of self-imposed sporting exile, and it sent shockwaves through the football world. The Confederation of African Football, or CAF, was furious, viewing it as a blatant disregard for the tournament and its regulations. As a consequence, CAF imposed a two-tournament ban on Nigeria, meaning they would be barred from participating in the next two editions of the African Cup of Nations, effectively sidelining them from continental football until the year 2000. This was a crushing blow, not just for the players who were denied the chance to compete, but for the millions of Nigerian fans who yearn to see their team in action. The Voodoo narrative, explaining the unexplainable. Now, this is where things get really interesting and delve into the unique cultural fabric of Nigeria. In the midst of all this political turmoil, sporting setbacks, and administrative chaos, a peculiar narrative began to gain traction. The idea of voodoo, or juju, influencing events. I'm not talking about literal magic spells being cast on the pitch, though some might have believed that, but rather the pervasive belief in spiritual forces, both benevolent and malevolent, that shape destiny and explain the unexplainable. This cultural lens offered a framework for understanding the sudden downturn in fortunes, the inexplicable losses, and the persistent bad luck that seemed to plague the team. When a team with so much talent suddenly falters, when administrative decisions seem illogical, or when political interference constantly derails progress, it's easy for people to look beyond conventional explanations. In a society where spiritual beliefs run deep, attributing these misfortunes to unseen forces, to curses, or to juju, becomes a powerful way to make sense of a chaotic reality. It provides a scapegoat, a narrative that explains why a team that should be winning is suddenly struggling, why promising careers are cut short, or why internal divisions persist despite obvious talent. This narrative wasn't just confined to the stands. It reportedly permeated the team itself, with whispers of players using charms or even suspicions of teammates employing dark arts against each other for personal gain or selection. The psychological impact of such beliefs cannot be underestimated. If players genuinely believe they are cursed or that an opponent has employed juju, it can erode confidence, sow discord, and ultimately affect performance on the field. This voodoo narrative became a convenient catch-all explanation for everything from poor refereeing decisions to player injuries, from administrative blunders to inexplicable losses. It highlighted the deep-seated cultural beliefs that often intersect with modern sports, adding another layer of complexity to Nigeria's turbulent journey. It wasn't just about strategy or skill anymore. It was about battling unseen forces, both real and imagined, internal strife and boycotts within the team. The cracks appear beyond the external political pressures and the cultural narratives. The Super Eagles themselves were grappling with significant internal strife, which further contributed to their perceived collapse. The administrative body overseeing Nigerian football, the Nigeria Football Federation or NFF, was frequently plagued by corruption, mismanagement, and political interference. This led to a constant state of instability, affecting everything from player welfare to coaching appointments. Players often complained about unpaid bonuses, inadequate training facilities, and a general lack of professionalism from the administrators. These issues inevitably led to discontent and, at times, outright boycotts by players. I remember hearing stories of players refusing to train or even threatening to pull out of matches over unpaid allowances, issues that should never plague a national team of their caliber. Such disputes created a toxic environment, eroding team morale and trust between players, coaches, and the federation. It's incredibly difficult to perform at your peak when you're constantly worried about whether you'll be paid or if your basic needs are being met. The political climate exacerbated these internal problems, as the Abacha regime's heavy-handed approach often extended to sports administration, stifling independent decision-making and fostering a culture of fear. This meant that addressing the players' grievances often took a backseat to political agendas, further deepening the cracks within the team. The constant churn of coaches, often due to political meddling rather than performance, also created a lack of continuity and a clear strategic vision, making it impossible for the team to build a cohesive identity. The Super Eagles, once a symbol of unity, were increasingly showing signs of internal fragmentation, a sad reflection of the nation itself. The road to France '98, a paradoxical return. Despite the AFCON ban, the international sanctions, and the internal chaos, Nigeria